For years, we've thought about AI as just a tool, right? A really smart spreadsheet or a clever search bar. But that's all about to change. We need to start thinking of our most powerful AI systems as, well, as employees. Employees with access to company bank accounts, the power to make real-world decisions. And if you're going to hire an employee that powerful, you better have some serious oversight. Because without an unbreakable leash, you're not building a productivity tool, you're building a time bomb. Today, we're going to figure out how to defuse it.
No, really, just stop and think about that for a second. Your new AI agent, working away, decides to process an invoice, but it makes a mistake. It sends $1 billion to the wrong account. It's not a bug that can be patched later. The money's gone. There is no undo button. This isn't some far-off sci-fi plot. It is the razor's edge we are standing on right now. The question is, how do you stop a disaster you can't reverse?
So here's the core of the problem. Our AIs are getting incredibly powerful, capable of taking real action. But the safety nets we're using to control them? They're still stuck in the past. They were designed for simple chatbots, not for autonomous agents with real-world power.
I mean, just look at this difference. The old guards, things like prompt filters and reward models, they're fine for nudging an AI's average behavior in the right direction. They're like suggestions. But they offer zero, and I mean zero, hard guarantees. They can't stop that 1 in a million catastrophic failure when an AI can make an irreversible payment or write directly to a live production database. The blast radius for a single mistake is no longer small, it's potentially company-ending.
And this really gets to the heart of it. We have all these fancy principles about responsible AI, but right now, they're just words on a page. They aren't code. The source for this explainer calls this a hard engineering gap. We've got advisory principles on one side and irreversible real-world actions on the other. We have to build a bridge between those two, and we have to do it with code.
Look, this isn't just a fun thought experiment. This is the foundational plumbing for how businesses will operate in the very near future. If you want to actually understand the technology that's going to separate the winners from the losers over the next decade, you need to be here. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. Okay, so how do we fix this massive engineering gap? The proposed solution is a Verifiable Governance Architecture, or VGA, and the very first pillar, its foundation, is a brilliant concept, an unblinking, always-on watchdog. You can literally think of it as a digital security guard standing between your AI and the real world, checking every single thing it tries to do. Let's walk through it. It's actually pretty simple. Your AI agent decides it needs to do something important, like make that payment we talked about. Before that request can ever touch the banking system, wham! The watchdog intercepts it. It then runs that request through a super strict policy engine. Does this AI have payment authority? Is the amount within its pre-approved limit? Is a human sign-off needed? Only if it ticks every single box is the action allowed to proceed. If even one rule is broken, it's denied. Instantly, no exceptions.
And this might be the most critical feature of the entire architecture. The system is designed to fail close. Now, most systems you use are fail open. If something's not clear, they tend to let it through to avoid disruption. This does the exact opposite. If there is any doubt, if a policy is ambiguous, if data is missing, if it cannot prove with 100% certainty that an action is safe and authorized, the default answer is always no. Safety is not an add-on, it is the default state of the system.
Okay, on to the next pillar. A smart security system doesn't treat everyone the same, right? You don't give the new intern the keys to the CEO's office. It's the same logic here. VGA applies a clear seniority system to our new AI employees. It's a really clear hierarchy of permissions. A junior agent, it can look at data, but it can't change a thing. A professional agent can do more, like analyze data and draft proposals for a human to review. But here's the kicker. Even the most powerful senior professional agent can only propose a high-impact, irreversible action. It has absolutely no power to execute it on its own. And this isn't about limiting the AI's intelligence, not at all. It's a hard-coded governance control on its authority.
So if the top dog AI can't pull the trigger on its own, what does it need? Well, it needs what high security systems have used for decades. It needs two keys.
This is that two-key system in practice. For a truly risky, irreversible action, the senior AI's proposal has to be digitally co-signed by a second, totally independent AI agent. And even after that, it still needs explicit, verifiable approval from a human manager. This design makes it incredibly difficult for a single rogue agent or a single point of failure to ever cause a catastrophe. So we have the watchdog intercepting every action, and we have a seniority system defining who can do what. But what actual rules are being enforced? Well, that's Pillar 3, a set of 20 unbreakable laws. And let's be clear, these are not vague ethical guidelines. These are hard-coded, verifiable constraints that the watchdog enforces 24/7.
Now, we won't go through all 20, but this gives you a taste of the most important ones. Harm aversion, that's the fail-close system we just talked about. Least privilege is the seniority system in action. But pay close attention to that one in the middle, immutable provenance. This one is an absolute game changer for accountability.
So, what is it? Think of the immutable evidence store as the system's indestructible black box recorder from an airplane. Every single decision, whether it was allowed or denied, gets logged in a tamper-proof, unchangeable record. This is how you prevent what the paper cleverly calls governance hallucinations, where an AI claims it followed the rules. With this system, you don't care what the AI says. You look at the unchangeable log from the watchdog. It is perfect, verifiable, undeniable proof.
Okay, this all sounds really cool in theory, but what's the actual real-world payoff? This is where the final pillars snap into place, turning all this architecture into something called compliance as code. This is how a company can automatically prove it's meeting its legal and regulatory obligations. Let's just take one monster piece of regulation, the EU AI Act. Look at how perfectly this VGA maps to its requirements. The Act demands detailed record keeping. Boom, the immutable evidence store spits out a packet for every single decision. The Act demands robustness and cybersecurity. Well, the fail-close watchdog and the least privileged roles are the technical proof. This isn't just a good idea, it's a compliance machine out of the box.
And this is the fundamental shift, the biggest takeaway for any business leader. We are moving away from the old model of waiting for something to go horribly wrong and then spending months on a painful audit. Instead, this system prevents the bad thing from ever happening in the first place in real time. It's the difference between having a smoke detector and having a full-blown fire suppression system. So let's zoom all the way out. What does this all mean for the future of work? It means we are right on the edge of a truly hybrid workforce, a world where humans and AI agents work shoulder to shoulder, each with clearly defined roles, responsibilities, and, most importantly, safeguards. And this quote from the paper's author just nails the whole vision. The point isn't just to make AI behave a little better. The point is to build the actual management and control system for an entirely new kind of company, one where humans and AIs can finally collaborate safely, effectively, and with total trust.
That hybrid workforce, it's not a question of if, but when, and it's coming a lot faster than you think. Building it right, building it safely, means understanding the kind of foundational architecture we've talked about today. And the best way to make sure you're ready for that future is to make sure you're subscribed right here.
So I'll leave you with this one final question to chew on. Think about your own company, your own organization. Are the systems you have today ready to manage an AI that can truly act on its own? Are you ready to put that unbreakable leash on your first AI employee? Thanks for joining us.